Hi again guys, and welcome to episode 28 of D.A.R.C, or Does Anyone Really Care? The review series where I'm just doing a quick evaluation of certain cars which seem to be underappreciated by most Gran Turismo 6 players. Now in this episode, as you can see, we're doing a mini review of the 1999 Honda Insight. This is a hybrid vehicle. It has a 1-litre engine and a supplementary electric motor. It's front-wheel drive, front engine as well. It costs 21,000 credits, so it's fairly cheap, cheaper than many of the other electric or hybrid vehicles that feature on Gran Turismo 6. But obviously it's not a particularly powerful car, and it's not exactly the kind of car that you'd usually peg for being fun to drive or high performance. But actually, it's a bit of a sleeper, because it's actually a really great little performance car. Now this car has far less power than the majority of the other cars that have featured in this series, but it's still very deserving of having a place in this series. Now fully tuned, it has 170 horsepower, which is a fair amount for a small, lightweight front-wheel drive car. But it's just enough power to give it great performance, but not so much that it gives you chronic wheel spin and heavy understeer. In fact, speaking of understeer, this car has virtually zero understeer. The steering is great. The handling is very, very fun to drive on the Honda Insight, and the shape of the car, because of Honda's purposing it as more of a sports hybrid compared to the Toyota's just general all-round four-door hybrid, which was the Prius, Honda went for, as we said, a more sporty image. So it's only got 2 seats, it's quite low, it's very aerodynamic, and it's quite well proportioned from a sports or sporty point of view. Visually, it has some kind of visual cues from the CRX from back in the day, that kind of vehicle, where it's a very small coupe type vehicle with minimal power, just built for fun, really, just for the driving pleasure. Obviously this car is a hybrid, so it wasn't designed purely, or it wasn't designed as much, let's say, for driving pleasure. It was designed to be environmentally friendly, but also fun, or more fun than the Toyota Prius anyway. But that's not that difficult a task, to make something more fun than a Prius. Now, as we said, fully tuned, you're looking at around sports bike or super bike kind of power, 170 horses, and with the full weight loss package, it weighs in at 714 kilos, so it is extremely lightweight, and the power to weight ratio on it is excellent. Now, this car, fully tuned, in this form that you see here, sits at 455 pp. But if you remove some of the weight loss, you don't have to remove the major weight loss, but just remove, for instance, the lightened windows and the lightened bonnet, it sits perfectly at 450 pp. And not only does it sit there, it's brilliant for 450 pp. The top speed is very good for its power, mainly due to its advanced aerodynamics. Now, I can't recall exactly what the top speed is off the top of my head, because I haven't driven this car flat out in quite a long time. But I seem to recall it's in excess of 170 miles per hour. So virtually its power to speed ratio is, if I remember correctly, pretty much equal. 1 horsepower for every mile per hour, if I'm remembering correctly, which I think I am. So its performance is very, very good, and the acceleration is very respectable as well. There is hardly any wheel spin at all on this car, thanks to its sporty chassis type and the proportions of the car giving it good stability. And overall, it's a really nice little car to drive. It's very easy to drive, it's very beginner friendly. It's one of the easiest higher performance, or when tuned, higher performance front wheel drive vehicles in the game. And overall, if you haven't bought this car in the past, I can completely understand people who haven't bought this car, because it doesn't exactly strike you as being an exciting proposition of a car. But for those of you who have bought this car, you'll probably know that what I'm saying about it is true. It's very fun to drive. Now, I haven't actually used it at all really for 450pp competition racing, but I think it should be very good. So if you haven't tried this car out, I would definitely recommend doing so. And that's it for this review. So I hope you enjoy driving this car, and see you next time. And as always, thanks for watching.